I will not be on Love and Marriage Huntsville. So there's your answer today. We will not be on Love and Marriage Huntsville moving forward after this season. Yeah, so we will be living our real lives, focusing on the future. And when this season's over, when you see us in the next few episodes that are coming, and when you see us on the reunion, I will explain to you some of those reasons as well, because there's a lot of stuff you guys don't get to see behind the scenes that happens. There's a lot of politics involved.
The cast of Love and Marriage, Huntsville and Carlos King, are at the center of a heated debate. And this isn't just about occasional arguments. This is about tensions that have been boiling for months, now ready to explode. The reunion episode turned into a battlefield where emotions ran out of control, leaving both the cast and the audience in absolute shock. But the real question is, how did it get to this point? Cast members have hinted at favoritism, shady EDI decisions, and unresolved conflicts that Carlos King himself seems to continuously ignore. Before we dive into the latest jaw-dropping revelations, let's rewind and uncover the real drama that led to this chaotic moment. From the very beginning, things were never as smooth as they seemed. Tensions were brewing, whispers were spreading, and the cracks in the cast relationships were only getting deeper.
But my point is, Carlos, the same energy that you gave Marceau, why are you not having that same emotions when it comes to my daughter? Because it's not like the first time that she talked about my children.
Fans of Love and Marriage, Huntsville have been buzzing about the show for a while, and it seems like some cast members feel that certain storylines are pushed too hard, while others are cut short or altered in ways that leave them feeling frustrated and misrepresented. One major example, Melody Holt and Martell Holt's explosive divorce saga. This storyline dominated multiple seasons, keeping viewers hooked. But behind the scenes, some cast members believed their own personal struggles were ignored, while others felt their private lives were twisted for drama. Things escalated when rumors surfaced about selective editing, with cast members claiming that scenes were manipulated out of context to create false narratives. And at the center of all this, Carlos King. His role in the chaos only fueled the fire. In past interviews, Carlos has been accused of overstepping his boundaries, sometimes acting as a mediator, but other times stirring the pot. He has defended himself, saying he tries to balance being both a producer and a friend to the cast. But that balance got murky when he started making bold statements about certain cast members being more made for TV than others. This did not sit well with everyone, especially those who felt their real lives were being exploited for ratings. On top of that, long-standing feuds, like the ongoing drama between Letitia Scott, Melody Holt, and Martell Holt, continued to boil beneath the surface. Insiders even claim that Carlos would bring up these old wounds during reunions or interviews, but then leave them unresolved, causing even more tension. As a result, many cast members felt disillusioned by the show's hands-off approach and even considered quitting. But by the time the reunion came around, there was no more hiding. The cracks that had been forming backstage were now on full display.
I had a lot of people that want to keep it a buck. We're going to keep it a buck.
Okay.
My office used to be above Credit One. And
I thought you were a
there
nurse.
Were no parties. However, him,
Do you need the office as a nurse?
the Dark, Marceau,
Where's Martha laughing?
they would hang out. Part of the reason even they wanted Black was they wanted a place where they could go and hang out.
And do what?
Like, listen to
Carlos.
music, drink, play
So,
cards.
Kimmy, I'm going to say this to you.
Oh, Carlos.
Being a gay man,
Ciao.
I can assure you, no man is hanging out after hours listening to Beyonce Renaissance.
No, I don't think
At
that
3 o'clock in the morning.
I don't
The reunion was meant to be a moment of reflection and resolution, but instead, it turned into one of the most explosive and jaw-dropping moments in the history of Love and Marriage, Huntsville. Years of built-up tensions finally erupted on camera, and for the first time, Carlos King found himself in the hot seat. One of the most shocking moments came when a cast member directly called out Carlos during the reunion, not just for minor favoritism or editing choices, but for something much deeper and more controversial. Fans watching at home were stunned when specific names were dropped, and within minutes, social media went into a frenzy. Instead of denying the damaging accusations, Carlos' response only made things worse. He attempted to justify his editing choices, insisting that everything was done in the name of good storytelling. But for some cast members, that explanation wasn't enough. They felt used, ignored, and manipulated for drama. The situation escalated when one cast member furiously accused Carlos of caring more about ratings than the real impact on their lives and families. And then, the moment that truly shook everyone. A cast member broke down in tears while describing how the show had deeply affected their family. Carlos's face said it all. He was visibly stunned. He tried to console them, but by then, the damage was already done. Fans at home immediately sensed the tension, realizing that this wasn't just reality TV anymore. This was real pain, real betrayal. The reunion was no longer just about rehashing old arguments. It became a breaking point. Cast members openly questioned whether they could even continue with the show after this. But just when everyone thought things couldn't get any worse, what happened next left them completely speechless and made them question their future on love and marriage. Huntsville altogether.
I needed someone to validate the truth because it was her word against mine. So, and that's why she got away with it all these years, because it was just, it was between me and her. So nobody knew who was telling the truth. And that's why it was so frustrating to me. And I didn't even think to ask you, Carlos. I didn't even think, like I should have. But I knew Andy Cohen called me, and I guess he didn't want to get involved or whatever, which I understand, because he was the one that called me to tell me that they were coming on the show. My sister and my cousin. So, but I remember, I remember season 2, you kept telling me, you're like, your sister-in-law keeps DMing me. And I was like, right? Or was it Facebook or DM that she kept contacting you? All right, so Facebook, because this is Facebook time. And you're like, she keeps contacting me. And I was like, why is she contacting you?
The drama didn't just end when the cameras stopped rolling. It exploded on social media, and fans were quick to pick up on the tension. One by one, cast members started unfollowing Carlos King, which sent the fandom into a frenzy. This wasn't just a minor disagreement. In today's world, unfollowing someone means there's serious bad blood. Then came the backstage leaks. Private messages hinted at shady dealings behind the scenes, including broken promises and outright manipulation. Some cast members felt completely betrayed by Carlos and the production team. Rumors swirled that entire storylines were either fabricated or exaggerated for ratings, without the cast even knowing. Even worse, some members realized they had far less control over their own narratives than they were originally promised. But the juiciest revelation: favoritism. Sources claimed that certain cast members were given VIP treatment, while others were left completely in the dark. Some even had the privilege of approving their final edits, while others had no clue what footage was making it to air. All this behind-the-scenes drama, combined with the social media unfollowing spree, painted a picture of a cast that was falling apart and a production team desperately trying to hold things together. And as if that wasn't bad enough, whispers began circulating that Carlos King had made promises to certain cast members, promises that never materialized. Whether it was a spin-off, more screen time, or a behind-the-scenes opportunity, these unfulfilled commitments left some feeling completely used. While fans pieced together clues from social media, the cast exits told an even bigger story. The departures from Love and Marriage, Huntsville sent shockwaves through the fandom, but each cast member had their own reasons for leaving. For Suchi and Willie's wife, Akia, it all boiled down to frustration over how their personal lives were being portrayed. Insiders revealed that they felt their real stories weren't being told truthfully, that the production team cared more about stirring up drama than showcasing their actual journey. Stormy's exit was even more shocking. Known for her bold personality and ability to shake things up, she was one of the show's breakout stars. But her departure wasn't just about creative differences. She reportedly felt trapped by the show's format. She wanted to highlight her business ventures and personal growth, but those aspects were pushed aside in favor of nonstop drama. For many cast members, the biggest frustration was the lack of creative freedom. When they first signed up, they expected a mix of entertainment and authenticity. But as the seasons went on, it became clear that sensationalism was the priority. Many felt disillusioned as their real lives were overshadowed by manufactured conflicts. And if that wasn't enough, there were ongoing issues with Carlos King himself. Many cast members believed he wasn't just the producer, he was one of the biggest instigators of the drama. His involvement in their personal lives became a major point of tension. To them, it seemed like Carlos cared more about the show's ratings than about the people who made it successful. But the biggest shocker of all, these exits were all directly linked to Carlos himself. For For years, Carlos King has been known as a reality TV mastermind, but with Love and Marriage, Huntsville, he's now facing serious backlash. A growing number of cast members are calling him out for prioritizing drama and ratings over the show's original vision. And if the situation wasn't messy enough already, what happened next made it even worse. The biggest complaint against Carlos King: that he manipulates situations just to stir up conflict. Cast members claim he doesn't just encourage drama, he creates it himself. Sure, it makes for juicy TV, but it also leaves the cast feeling used. Over and over, the same issue comes up. Carlos seems to care more about his own interests than theirs. Looking back, this isn't the first time Carlos has faced these accusations. When he was producing The Real Housewives of Atlanta, similar controversies popped up: favoritism, storyline manipulation, and shady behind-the-scenes tactics. There's no doubt he made that show a ratings hit, but at what cost? Now with Love and Marriage, Huntsville, it feels like history is repeating itself. Critics argue that while Carlos' tactics work for TV, they're damaging the trust between him and the cast. And that's not the only issue. Another hot topic is Carlos' public image. He loves taking the spotlight for the show's success, but cast members feel completely overlooked. They believe it's their real-life struggles and relationships that make the show great, yet Carlos takes all the credit. This has led to major frustration, with many feeling that Carlos is more focused on building his own brand than supporting them. With all this backlash, the big question is, can the show survive without its key players? The recent wave of exits has fans wondering what's next. Love and Marriage. Huntsville has always thrived on complicated relationships and raw, real-life drama, but can it still keep viewers hooked without its most engaging stars? Losing Stormi, Suchi, and Akia has already shaken things up. And now, rumors are swirling that even more cast members are planning to walk away. And let's not forget, the show needs ratings to survive. It has to strike a balance between relatable moments and over-the-top drama. Without its most compelling personalities, the storytelling could take a serious hit. Sure, they can bring in new cast members, but will they be able to connect with fans like the originals did? Loyal viewers have grown deeply attached to the original crew. Swapping them out might not cut it. And with all the behind-the-scenes drama, this could trigger a domino effect. If Carlos doesn't address the criticism head-on, future cast members might think twice about working with him, which could hold the show back from evolving and staying fresh. On the flip side, some fans believe Carlos won't change a thing. Instead, they think he'll double down on his drama-filled tactics to make up for the stars who've left. One fan commented, "Carlos is doing what he does best, causing chaos." If the show doesn't turn around soon, he might just be the only one left standing. Another added, "The cast just wants to be treated fairly, but I don't think that's what Carlos is about." So now, the big question, can Carlos King turn this around? Or is Love and Marriage, Huntsville, on the verge of falling apart completely? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for the latest updates on this unfolding drama.